Hey guys, happy Saturday. I hope you're having a fun and safe Memorial Day weekend. Please remember social distancing and all that responsible stuff because COVID is still out there, even though I know we're really excited to get back into the community and start enjoying our stores and all that fun stuff as the states start to reopen. So, that said and out of the way, I hope that the weather is good for you guys and I hope you're able to enjoy it. So I'm going to go ahead and start this video with a few announcements. First of which is something that I've already posted on my Facebook page. I just want to post it here as well that I am going to be putting my mermaid videos and coloring pages on hold until the end of May. I know that's only a few days away, really, maybe a week, but I'm doing that because I want to do a final flip through with you guys so you can see everything I've done, and I want to produce a final um, kind of coloring book for you guys for all my mermaid images. That's going to be done digitally. It's going to be found for free on my Facebook art page. So that's all going to be coming to you. It's just going to take me some time to get it all together, and it's taking more focus to do everything than to just release one page at a time because it's quite intensive. I'm sure you know, or kind of figured that doing a page every day is just not going to work with everything else that I have going on project wise. So on top of that, I also wanted to say that the video quality has probably dropped a touch. I'm trying to keep it up and keep the transitions as smooth as possible for my videos, but the software I was using for my editing completely fried my CPU when I was using it. I even knocked it down and I tried smaller, less demanding programs like I think it was Wondershare or Filmora or something that was supposed to be workable, and that even pressed my CPU to the absolute limit to where it was trying to crash my computer. So I've had to bump it down to where I just have the software available that was built into my computer now. So you're not going to see quite as much fancy videos, not as much, nice transitions or audio work, but I am trying to make it, watchable without it being offensive. So that's kind of why there's a change in the quality. I'm gonna try and fix that later on, maybe with, another upgrade to the computer. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But the third thing is that for some reason, like everything else with this picture originally, the camera was fighting me the entire time. It was doing that obnoxious thing where it was auto-focusing and trying to work on my hand instead of the picture, but I hope it's not too jarring and you're able to actually enjoy the painting process. Now that I've gotten all those disclaimers out of the way, this is what we're working on this week. It is a gouache painting that I kind of consider my first real attempt at an illustration. The first two were more or less me getting comfortable with gouache, and this was me deciding, okay, I'm going to make a pretty picture and I'm going to paint it. And that was kind of hard for me because this week has been really difficult keeping myself on track. And that sounds kind of weird because this is what I'm focusing on primarily. I'm doing my writing and I'm doing my art, and that's all I really have, so it shouldn't be difficult. But sometimes my brain just goes into phases where it wants to do so much. It has so many ideas, and it's just going everywhere. So focusing on one project, one thing, is just extremely difficult. And my biggest culprit this week is going to be kind of weird. My biggest culprit is one that I love the most, and it was my writing. It's been so demanding lately. I can't get it out of my head. Like, it's just constantly in the back of my mind, nagging me. You have to do this. You have to write this. You have to write it now. And then, okay, I'll write, for, 30 minutes. Well, 30 minutes will turn into me looking at the clock, and then it's 10 o'clock at night, and I've done nothing art-wise. So I'm just being pulled in so many directions, and I don't know how to fix that sometimes, but to just go, go, go until my brain finally stops. I basically burn it out until it's forced to rest, which is very unhealthy. It's not what you should be doing, but I literally cannot make it stop sometimes. It's just how I'm wired. And so that's kind of what I was hoping to do with this picture. I wanted to focus on something and kind of relax my brain and make it slow down and just enjoy what it was doing. And that was hard for me because in the back of my mind, I'm going, I really want to paint something. I really, really want to paint. But what do I paint? My first thought went to like my mermaid characters because I have a really great idea for them. But I'm thinking, no, I want to save those for, later. I want to do that later when I have more time because it's going to be a bigger piece. So then I started not knowing what I wanted to draw, and I was getting stressed out about it, and then I was getting torn back to my writing, and it was a whole big ordeal. Like, I just couldn't this week, and it was so frustrating because I love what I do, but sometimes you just can't, and your brain just doesn't want to cooperate. So eventually, after working my way around and around and around, I decided I wanted to do something different. I had played with the idea of doing dragons. I played with the idea of even doing fairies and maybe elves or something that I never do. I didn't want it to be dark. I didn't want it to be like, monsters like, I usually do. I wanted it to be kind of brighter and happier and just something kind of different, something that would break me away from my usual grind and kind of relieve that and make me try to just focus on something else. And somehow I ended up coming back to Link from Ocarina of Time. I wanted to do something originally where Link was older. I honestly, to be honest with you, full disclosure, I thought Link was an elf. And then my husband's like, no, he's not an elf, but there's elves in Zelda's world. So I was like, well, I know he has a fairy. I mean, that's kind of what I was going with originally. So that progression just naturally led me to a Legend of Zelda piece. But I wanted to do him older originally. I wanted to be him like in a quiet woodland scene, like finding his sword or something so he could go on his grand adventure and save the world. Well, that didn't work out. I struggled and I struggled and I struggled, and I was like, this just isn't fun for me. I don't know why it isn't fun. I don't like what I'm doing. So I decided to change it. And I'm like, you know what? It has been really fun for me. It's just that really cute kid style that is so easy. Like, it's honestly easy for me to do now because I've been doing it all month. And it's like, if I'm looking for something to relax me, why not do something that I enjoy and can do a quick sketch for instead of sitting here struggling with adult anatomy and trying to make this look right and trying to just drive myself crazy. That's not what this was for. So I did it. I decided, okay, well, I'm going to do Link as a child because there's several video games where he at least starts off as a child and then grows up. And I don't know enough about the game or the series to really do a scene from them, but I knew enough that I was like, okay, I'm just going to have him sitting in a forest. I'm going to have his little fairy with him. And then I did a little bit of Googling and I found this really cute Zora, which is like, Zoras, I guess, are kind of like the mer people or the fish people of the world. And I found this really cute Zora princess, and I was like, okay, well, he'll just be sitting there talking to her, or she'll find him and start chatting him up. I don't know. I just want something cute so I can paint it. So that's pretty much what I ended up doing. I posted the hard sketch of Link on my Facebook page. I was so proud of how he came out. And, yeah, I used references, but the point of this was to paint, to turn my brain off and to paint. So I sketched it out. I came up with something that I really loved. And the more I put down on the paper, the more I realized this looks like a legitimate illustration. I was getting excited for it, and that's what I wanted. I wanted something to be excited about. So I even put it on my nice paper. I took a chance. Last time I painted was probably January, February with watercolor. And I thought, I have a couple of nice sheets of watercolor paper. I'm going to see how that handles the gouache because I'm going to layer this hard. And I know for a fact the mixed media paper I've been using can't handle that. So I even put it on the nice paper. Like, I took my sketch, I traced it onto my nice watercolor paper, and I started painting. And I was so scared when I was painting because I knew the second I put that brush to paper, I was going to make a huge mistake somewhere, and it was going to be devastating. And, I'm not going to lie, this took me all day. I had to walk away from it several times because I would get so frustrated with the idea that I had messed something up, that I couldn't keep going. I had to walk away from it. I had to collect myself and come back to it. And it was kind of like, yeah, maybe you did make a mistake somewhere, and I'll let you guys decide if I did. Was it everything I did intentional, or was there a mistake somewhere? Was I just working myself up for no reason? You guys tell me. Leave a comment and let me know what you think. So, once I got past some of the background stuff that was really what stressed me out the most, I got to focus on working on the characters. And the characters were a lot of fun. I was just, playing with the paint, I was doing my thing, I was in the zone. Now I had to turn off my camera several times and work kind of off screen because I kept frying my battery, but it was exactly what I thought that I needed. I was able to just lay the paint down and kind of go with it and see what happened and play with some colors and play with layering like I hadn't been able to do before. And I could not tell you guys enough. I was so happy with the way this paper handled. I will never use my multimedia paper again for a gouache painting. I am going to invest in this stuff or better paper because it just grabbed the paint, it soaked it up. I could not have been happier with how the paper handled it. And I mean, I'll be honest, I am so happy with the way this turned out that I will probably get it framed. I was ecstatic because I was able to work with it in a way that I'd never been able to before, and it just watching it come to life gradually, go from kind of something you can barely see on the camera with like vague pencil marks everywhere to, oh, that's actually like that's a person. Oh, that's a Zora. That's water. Look at these rocks. How many different layers were I able to put on those rocks? I was so happy. So, I mean, it really picked up my spirits. It really kind of renewed my faith that maybe I can use a paint. Maybe I am going to be able to use gouache and make it look beautiful. And I can understand why illustrators use this stuff. When you know what you're doing, which I don't, I'm not saying I know what I'm doing, but when you know what you're doing, I've seen such gorgeous pictures. And playing with this the way I was able to yesterday, just letting my brain breathe. Once I walked away from it like 2 or 3 times and came back kind of refreshed with some coffee, with some tea, once I came back to it, I was okay. Like, I loved it. It was exactly what I needed to just breathe and focus. There was nothing else in my brain except for the picture at that moment. And so I think I've finally kind of figured out a way to turn my brain off. It's just a matter of getting sketches onto the paper to start painting now. So I hope you guys like this image. I am absolutely in love with it. I could not be happier. I am hoping to provide myself more time to focus on pieces like this, maybe bigger pieces, maybe even smaller pieces. I just want more time to do this. I'm really excited. I hope to bring you more like this in the future. Maybe it'll be Duncan and Bouja. Maybe it'll be, I don't know what it'll be. Whatever I want. Whatever, tickles my fancy that day is what it's going to be. And I hope you guys keep coming back to learn with me. If you have any references or recommendations on people to follow, I am more than happy to take those as well. I want to improve. If you would give this video a like if you liked it, I will know how to keep going in the future. Definitely subscribe to the channel and check out the links in the descriptions. There will be more coming on my Facebook page that's not necessarily available on YouTube. But I am so appreciative that you guys watched this through with me. I hope you liked it, and I will see you next week.